89.9 Light FM. This is the Green Room for a Sunday night, and it is my great pleasure to welcome to the show a couple of girls. We've been playing their music for a little while now. A couple of songs, Set Fire, and the latest single is called Fearless. Alyssa and Georgia, known as the SAGA. Welcome. It's so good to have you guys here.
Thanks so much, Cam. Awesome to be here.
Yeah, welcome. We've been playing the songs, loving just a real kind of poppy, up-tempo vibe to the music that you guys are making. And for our listeners in particular, they're really beginning to, I suppose, get an understanding of who you are. So let's rewind and find out where this whole dream started for you guys to be more than just, hey, we like to sing, we like to make music, to actually, you know what, we're actually going to give this a crack. How did that happen?
Sure. So I guess music for me started when I was a kid. My parents put me into piano lessons when I was 5. As I grew into high school, I got involved in singing, you know, the choirs, the whole lot. And then towards the end of high school, I met my husband. And when we were in high school, we started a band. And so now we do music full time. So that means, you know, we do an average of about 5 gigs a week, whether that be at pubs, clubs, corporate functions, weddings, the lot. And I guess as I was building up the band over the last 10 years, faith is something that's always been very important to me. But it was something that I always kept very separate. And so meeting Georgia was awesome. We kind of came together and this spark kind of, I guess, ignited. And we thought, let's write some music about our faith. And that's where our passions really come from.
Yeah.
And so that's where these songs have been born out of.
Yeah.
And it's been a great journey so far.
So how challenging has that been for you to switch your mindset almost to be on stage performing? Let's say we're in that kind of an environment and, you know, faith isn't something that you'd previously talked about. Whereas now, especially to intro songs, to say, hey, this is what this song's about, guys. Is that confronting to be in such a public setting and being so open about your faith?
Yes. Yeah. Georgia will be able to tell you that before we released Set Fire, I was absolutely petrified. I thought, oh my gosh, people are going to know that I have this faith now. But you know what? It's actually been the most freeing thing. And I just feel so much happier and so much full of joy. And, you know, I really feel like this is what I'm meant to be doing. And so it's been a wonderful shift in mindset. And I'm still kind of working through that, but there's been a huge change over the last 12 months for sure. And
you talk about that, I suppose, spark that happened when you guys got together first. Georgia, tell me from your perspective about, you know, that first meeting and potentially how it all kind of began to roll together.
Yeah.
That you found yourself going, you know what, faith's something that we love. Music is something that we love. This is how these two worlds can coexist. How is that from your point of view?
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and I think it's been really incredible journey because like Alyssa, I've been performing my whole life, you know, and singing and dancing and all around, like in a lot of different places. And we both kind of connected over the fact that we were in the music industry. You know, I've done a lot of musicals and I sing in a lot of different bands and write a lot of songs myself. And so does Alyssa. And we both shared this common passion for wanting to share our faith with people through music. But we were similar in the sense that, you know, most of the gigs we do, it's not something that would come up. Even if I sing my original songs at a, you know, place in the city, at a venue, it's very rare that I would kind of talk about the depth of my faith in that. I would sing a song that alluded to that or and try and, you know, inspire people with music, but I wouldn't be really overt with it. So the beautiful thing about meeting Alyssa and writing together in this journey is that we've been able to actually be a little bit more bold in saying this is what this song's about. And the sort of moment that came to my mind is when we were in Panama at the start of the year and we'd just released Set Fire and we'd found out that it had done, you know, really well on radio and stuff, which had been great. And we went to Panama and performed it live at this huge event called World Youth Day. And it was just this beautiful moment where we were able to we said to the audience, this is what this song's about. And it was the first time that I'd done that myself, and that was so different.
You picked a small crowd to do that too.
We did.
Just a few people.
That's right.
Yeah, it was like, 30, 40,000. So it was a bit different.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of them were Spanish speaking. So we got a translator as well. So it was different on lots of levels.
Yeah. What was that experience like for you two? 40,000 people is just often more people than anyone would ever get the chance to perform in front of, let alone adding the whole shows for an entire tour together. Oh, yeah, we played in front of 10,000 people on this tour. But this was like 40,000 in one go.
Yeah.
How overwhelming was it the first moment you walked on that
It was
stage?
crazy. We didn't actually know it was going to be that many people.
Yeah.
We went to the sound check earlier that day and we thought, 300, 400. And then the organizer said, no, there's going to be, 40,000 people here. And it was funny when we walked out on stage. I guess before we went on, we were a bit nervous, but then it just turned into excited nerves. And then we got out there and you can only really see the first few hundred. You couldn't actually see further than that.
It just becomes a sea of faces
It
after
did.
that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it was amazing. I guess I came off that stage just thinking, this is the best, gig of my entire life. Like,
It was because everyone there
awesome.
was sharing. Everyone was there to share faith and
Yeah.
to share like a common goal of love and faith. So it was just the energy was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
89.9 Light FM. Cam here for the Green Room on a Sunday night. Joining me in the studio, a couple of very special guests, Alyssa and Georgia. They are known as the Saga, although that's only a recent kind of thing that you guys have made the adjustment to, because when we released and first played Set Fire, you went under the name of Alyssa and Georgia. Tell me about that transformation and why you felt that was necessary.
sure. So when we released Set Fire, it was really a bit of fun. We had no idea what was going to happen. And a good friend of ours, a pastor named Simon from a church in Kyneton, said to us, girls, I can't find you when I search for you. Alyssa's spelt with a Y, George's kind of spelt Jorga.
And I always say, thanks, Mum.
Yeah, good on you, Mum.
So Simon said to us, girls, you need to think of this really like a short, catchy 4-letter word. So we looked at our names and, we took the last 2 letters of Alyssa, the last 2 letters of Georgia, and it became Saga. But then it also goes deeper because we thought, the story about Georgia and Alyssa, because that's literally what this whole journey is. It's us just sharing our experiences and
both being performers, loving to write songs, and having a common interest in faith. So that's our story, really.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
In a nutshell.
Well, we're about to play Set Fire, the song that you guys explained just a moment ago that you performed in front of 40,000 people at World Youth Day. You say, and this is a quote that I've read, when we become who we're meant to be, we'll set the world on fire. Let's kind of dig a little deeper into this song and kind of unpack that statement a little bit more.
Sure.
What does this song mean to you guys?
It's a really special song because it's where this whole journey really started. And that quote actually comes from St. Catherine of Siena. And we've had so many connections. Like I worked at a school that was called St. Catherine. So I feel like it's all kind of meant to be. And, we feel like we're really meant to be doing this. And I guess we are setting the world on fire in our own little way. And that can be translated to anybody, like whether you're a musician, whether you're into sport, whether you're into art, whatever it is, do what you're meant to be doing. And that's when you're really going to make magic happen. That's kind of the basis of the song for me.
Yeah, when we got together and we had a brief of what we entered the song into a competition actually, and the brief was to talk about joy. That basically what joy in this context, joy meant that the joy that we have knowing God's love. So no matter what happens in your life, it's not coming from your life being perfect, but it's actually a joy knowing that God's got you, and with your individual uniqueness, you can set the world on fire. So having that difference in, not being able to do everything on your own, but with God, you can find your calling, I guess, in life, whatever that is, and set the world on fire in your own way. So that's how we wrote it, and we prayed about it, and we really talked about the lyrics, and especially when we released the clip, we had a lot of different faces in the clip, like sort of people from all different cultural backgrounds, really trying to represent that doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what you've been through. There's a joy that will set you free, and that's God. Yeah.
And you talk about working out what that purpose is for each person to live out.
Yeah.
For you guys, was that something that took you a while to work out, like for yourselves as women?
Definitely. I mean, music was always a passion for me, but as I said earlier, I kept music and faith very separate, and I always thought I was living this double life, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But the moment that we put the two things together and, using these gifts that God's given me, back for him, whether that be singing Set Fire or Fearless with Georgia at an event, or singing at church on a Sunday, or whether that be singing at a pub, like I can still bring God into that, in an industry that's so not full of God. So, I think once I figured that out, things really started to change, and I just felt a whole lot happier and a whole lot more fulfilled, I guess.
That's great.
Yeah.
Would you add anything onto that, Georgia?
Absolutely. Like when I was a teenager, all I wanted to do was sing, dance, and act. That's it. but it was very much for me. It was just like, oh, my dream was to do, movies and all those things. And when I was a teenager, I was going through a really hard time. And about 19, I was, dancing every day, singing every day. And I got into a musical and I was doing really well in my music. But there was an emptiness there. So I obviously turned to a few things that weren't fulfilling at all. And I was going through a stage of a lot of depression, I guess. And then one of my friends took me to Lifehouse Church, and she just said, look, come one night and see what you think. And it's a long journey and too hard to put into 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But basically when I started kind of praying and reading the Bible and everything, I realized that God had given me certain gifts and I wanted to use them for others. So it sort of turned around. Rather than about being me, it was like, I want to write songs to help people. I want to, sing on stage. Like Alyssa said, you could be in a bar and someone comes up and says, I've had a really hard weekend, and trying to be open to, you might be singing a cover song, but you're just present for those people kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's, I think for me, finding my calling and using music. I work in a youth justice centre 2 days a week. In a jail for boys between 16 and 21, and it's constantly using music to help them kind of decipher what they've been going through and sort of that narrative therapy, like the healing when they write music. So for me, it's like, music is a way of hopefully bringing other people hope, and myself hope, and others, I guess. That's awesome.
Well, let's take a listen to this song. We're going to play the new single Fearless in just a moment, but right now, this is Set Fire in the Green Room on Light FM. Set Fire, the Saga. This is 89.9 Light FM in the Green Room. The girls are here in the studio, and it is so good to just find out a little bit more about you guys. We've been playing your music for a little while, and this is our first time catching up on the show. It is brilliant. Alyssa and Georgia, you guys are here. And just before the song, we were talking about just those interactions with, well, I don't want to use the word fans, but perhaps people that you often get the chance to connect with at a live show, and they maybe resonate with something in the songs that you're performing. Perhaps it's a lyric, perhaps it's just a theme, whatever it might be. What is that moment like for you as someone comes up and says, hey, that song, that's really helped me out, or I really feel like there's something in that song that I can hang on to that's going to help to almost turn my world around a little bit. Tell me what that experience is like for you guys.
I think, we can both talk about it, but just really powerful. When we released Set Fire, we had, because we both released songs before, but it might be like, broken hearted love song or love song, whatever it is, might not be sort of as deep a meaning, like as deep a message, more universal message. And so when we released Set Fire, we had a couple of our friends, fellow musos or just family, and even, people that have been following our music saying, that song really uplifted me. Someone came up to me at a gig and said, the song you and Alyssa released, Set Fire, really uplifted me. I've been going through a lot of depression. And I was just like, okay, that's what that's meant to be for. And people started telling us little stories of things they'd gone through, which we used to write our next song, Fearless. So we used the words that, we'd been given from other people. People are saying, I feel a bit alone. I feel like I can't hold on. It's hard to face life. And we took it to our producer, Luke Batterbury, who's a really well-known Melbourne producer, and we just said, can you help us? He had a chorus already, and we wrote the lyrics based on what other people had said. So when people kind of come to you and say, your song has helped me, lift me up out of a bad situation, I think that's just the best, the best thing, the best outcome, you know? Yeah.
What about for you, Alyssa?
Yeah, I guess when you're singing covers, it kind of becomes like a bit of cruise control because sometimes I don't even know what I'm singing about half the time because it's only so much feeling you can put into, I got a feeling tonight's going to be a good night. So that's why this project with George has been so good, because we've actually been able to go a little bit deeper. And those messages that we got after Set Fire were really overwhelming. And, even the messages we've been getting about Fearless, my friend texted me the other day saying that she's a school teacher and one of her students was going through a bit of bullying and she showed her Fearless and the girl just started crying. And the fact that she even shared that with me, it was a really beautiful moment. And I was just about to sing at someone's wedding and I was a bit stressed about a few things, but that puts it really into perspective. So it's a I guess, as Georgia said, a powerful moment.
It's really powerful.
Has it kind of caught you by surprise that those stories have perhaps come around so quickly, given that you've only released 2 songs now officially together?
Yeah.
And yet you've already got people that are just like, guys, this song's been a massive help for me, that it's just clicked for people.
It's been so quick. Like just the other day, a girl came up to me and told me her story and she said, I've been hearing Fearless on the radio she said I had to pull over. I started crying because
Yeah.
the words in it really touched me. And before Alyssa and I write, we always pray. And we just say, all right, God, whatever words you've got, just, give them to us. And obviously then we rework the melodies and everything and, the music with our producer and the lyrics. We sit down together and it's happened so quickly, but at the same time I kind of go, well, that's what was meant to be. That's God, because people are saying there's words in this song that have touched me. And to me, it's like, well, then it was kind of given to us almost. It's really interesting, yeah.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about the brand new single called Fearless in just a moment. Hang around. This is The Green Room on Light FM. 89.9 Light FM. It's The Green Room for a Sunday night. Alyssa and Georgia from the Saga are here, and it's been great to hang out with you guys tonight and just, I suppose, find out a little bit more about, the heart behind the music almost, and the way that you want to set it up for people in the future to almost experience as they listen to your songs. We're about to play Fearless, which is the brand new single, and it says that it's about holding on and embracing people's uniqueness when they're not feeling good enough. Was that something that you guys felt and you said, hey, you know what? There's something about this area that we've experienced that we need to pour into a song?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being two female musos in the Melbourne music industry, it's not an easy gig. It might look like it's easy on the surface, but, you're constantly, I guess, competing with other people for the gigs. And then there's a lot of pressure at what you look like, and your socials have got to be so exciting, and you've got to keep that happy face even though, you might not be feeling that way because you're there entertaining others. That's been a little bit difficult. But to have all the other female musos kind of message us at the time of Set Fire and say, hey, I've been feeling this, it was kind of this, I guess, sigh of relief for both of us being like, oh, wow, other people feel this way as well. And I guess we're all kind of going through the same things. And so as much as we wrote Fearless for, the people that did message us and of course the broader community, the message also speaks to us as well. And it's definitely motivating there.
Yeah, because when we were writing the lyrics, we really, like the lyrics say, when you feel like everyone's got it together and you don't feel the same, you feel like you don't measure up. It's kind of almost tapping on the social media thing when you could be a certain age and go, oh, everyone's got married with kids and I don't, or, that couple looks so happy because social media has become a big part of our world. And we wrote it about that, and even our producer Luke put like a texting thing at the start of the song, and just to kind of allude to the fact that we do look at other people's lives sometimes and feel like we don't measure up, or just put pressure on ourselves to be perfect, or and that it actually, we say in the song, there'll never be another you. Like you're made, you're unique, and not to compare yourself to anyone else. And when you're scared, just hold on because God's got you in that fear, and not to be afraid.
Tell me about the experience of filming the video clip for this song, because it recently released and it just looks like you guys are having fun.
It was a great day. We've got such an amazing team behind us. We've got a wonderful makeup artist, Tanya
Guccione. She's an awesome makeup artist.
She is. And we've got the Christian guys from One Heart Studios. The video was also directed by our producer, Luke Batterbury, another friend, Mick Scrow. And we just have a great time when we're together. And so when we're filming, we're kind of getting coached as we go along. And so it's a very motivating, I guess, vibe. And you see what the filming's looking like on the screen. It's really fun. And then you see the final product and it's like, oh, wow. It's just it's a fun day.
Yeah. And it's it's colourful, it's bright, it's got, and it's a really good clip. So yeah, it was really nice. Well, let's check out the song, The Saga. This is the brand new single Fearless in the Green Room on Light FM. The Saga and Fearless in the Green Room, 89.9 Light FM. Alyssa and Georgia from The Saga are here with us tonight, and we're hanging out and have loved every single minute of getting to know you girls just a little bit more. Tell me, if you can, maybe, what's next? Now that a couple of songs have been released and you're starting to find your groove and your rhythm and you're connecting with fans and your music's resonating, what's next?
Well, just this week, we're going to be recording our next song.
Hey.
So we're all writing songs all the time. Our producer, Luke Batterbury, writes songs every day. We write songs together separately. And so we've got a lot of lyrics, melodies and things kind of bubbling. And so this week, we're going to record our next song. We're just going to keep writing and recording. And we're flying up to Perth in December for the next Australian Catholic Youth Festival. Be performing there. And so there's lots of things happening.
Yeah. So into 2020 and beyond,
Yeah.
how are you dreaming that this project, that this music is going to expand? Like, have you kind of allowed yourselves to dream in that way of what might be possible?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. I guess we're going to just keep doing what we do, working hard behind the scenes, and hopefully the songs get in the hands of the right people, and then we'll see, you know, where God leads us on the journey. We're totally open. As I said, when we released Set Fire, it was a bit of fun. Took it a bit more seriously when we did Fearless. You know, now we have a band name. We've got our own Instagram, you know. So I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're working hard behind the scenes to do some pretty cool stuff.
It would be great to, you know, we were talking about this the other day, like just love to go over to America, love to, like, as a songwriter, you just want to reach as many people as you can. And I think, you know, God always thinks big, so it's good to think big. But as long as our music is touching people, that's the main thing, you know. And yeah.
Well, it's been so good to hang out with you girls tonight. I appreciate you popping in, and it's been great to find out a little bit more about you guys and also to play your music, find out a little bit more about the songs specifically as well. Alyssa and Georgia, the Saga, thank you so much for being here, and I'm sure we'll chat again.
No worries. Thanks, Cam, so much. And also a big thank you to all the listeners for your support. It's been incredible. We're so blessed.
Thanks so much, Cam.
You're legends. This is The Green Room on Night FM.